Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had an amazing week. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, um, oh goodness gracious, 8 p.m. Eastern, I just had a pop up that there may be an issue on Facebook. So hopefully you guys can see me. Um, let's see. I don't know. Sorry, Facebook people. Hopefully you guys can see me. It says it's having trouble connecting to Facebook today. Let's see. Maybe an issue on Facebook's end. Okay, so hopefully you all can see me on Facebook. I'm not sure. Or at least on LinkedIn and YouTube. And sorry for the technical issues here. I don't know. Never had that pop up before. Excuse me. But hi again. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, typically, unless there is a technical issue like today. So hopefully, if you're not seeing this live, I apologize. Maybe you'll be able to see the replay because there seems to be some, I don't know, some technical issue coming up that I've never seen before. So nonetheless, welcome again. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you are new to mental health moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. So we are here live, as I mentioned, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. It looks like we're still having the issue. Oh no. Let's see. Let me try. I'm going to try something and then I'm going to try to add it back. Hold on one second, you guys. Let's see. Let's see if that works. I'm going to try to reconnect with Facebook. Oh, it might have worked. Maybe. I'm not getting the error message anymore. Okay, so hi. Hi again. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moments. So I already did my intro, but for the Facebook group, it looked like there were some technical issues, but hopefully you all can see me now on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook, along with LinkedIn and YouTube. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Hopefully I'll be able to see my comments if technology wants to work today. But nonetheless, again, thanks so much for joining here. Oh, no, I'm still having that issue. Darn. Okay, so anyhow, I will definitely be, like all the mental health moments, I'll definitely be putting it on the Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page as a replay. And I apologize that it looks like our Facebook family is not going to be able to watch this live because, yeah, I don't know. Excuse me, because there's some issue that keeps popping up. And hopefully you all can see me because I can't see any of your comments. Hopefully you all can see me on the other platforms. Let me know if you can. And hopefully I'll see my comments. And either way, I'm going to do this mental health moment today. And like I said, I'm going to put it on my Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page so that you'll be able to watch the replay. Because for some reason there's still that issue. Okay. So before I start today's mental health moment, a quick announcement. If you haven't heard the news already, super excited to announce. I always preach the take a minute. I've been preaching it for a long time, right? A mental health moment, just meaning taking a minute for yourself, taking a minute for your self-care. Hi, thanks so much for joining here. Okay, at least I can see LinkedIn people can see, so that's a good thing. Hi, thanks so much for joining. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And again, let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from today. So if you didn't hear the news, I announced it last week, but one of the ways that I take a minute is by drinking cups of tea. Like it's like just having a Zen moment and enjoying a cup of tea. So my team and I have created what's called Herbal Clarity by Dr. Hammond, which is basically a tea that is meant to be very relaxing and just a reminder for you to take a moment for yourself. So you can check that out. It's herbalclarity.com. Clarity, herbalclarity.com, and I'll put it in the chat. Excuse me, really quickly, for you all. You want to check that out right now. There's free shipping in the US. There is free shipping right now, so definitely be sure to check it out. LinkedIn's in the house. Welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are joining here today, and I'm so glad that you guys connect to see the live, because I don't know what happened to my Facebook group, and I so apologize. Like I said, never know with technology. I think it's the first time though in a long time that I've had issues connecting with Facebook for some reason. Let me try one more time, y'all. So LinkedIn family, please, one moment. Give me one quick second. I'm gonna try one more time for where is it? To connect with the Facebook. Also, let's see, save changes. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. I'm trying. Gotta love alive, right? Okay. So anyhow, on today's mental health moment, what I want to share with you, because again, we've been talking as we're winding down the end of the year, which is completely crazy to me, that we're already like we blinked and we're here. So we've been talking a lot about how to manage, right? Like getting through the end of the year, starting a new year, all those sorts of things. So on today's mental health moment, actually, whenever you watch this, maybe you're watching this and it's in the middle of the year, you're watching the replay. But today's mental health moment, I wanted to share with you that it's really important. I know you've heard the term boundaries. It's very, very much in the social media realm of about holding your boundaries. We've talked about it before on mental health moment, but also I wanted to remind you of something called almost like a micro boundary, right? Meaning it just, I'm, in case you couldn't tell, if you don't know me by now, I'm really a fan of like small actions that we take that really can have big, huge, amazing consequences in our life for the good, right? For the better. So so micro boundaries is one of those things, right? And I'll give you an example. I'm gonna give you three actually examples today of something to consider, especially as I mentioned, we're heading into the end of the year. It just gets busier, it just does, right? Like the malls are busy, and people are shopping, and maybe if you celebrate certain holidays, you're getting together with family or friends, right? There's just a lot going on. So one of the things to think about is to when you're engaging in conversation, actually, whether it's conversation in person, whether it's a text message, a phone call, email, whatever it is, really be conscious of pausing before you respond. Right? Because there's so much, like I said, especially towards the end of the year with a lot of things happening, there's just so many emotions that are flying around, right? And some of it is happy, which is great. Some of it is joyous. Some of it is nervousness because we're not sure what's going to happen in the new year. For some of you, it's sadness. Maybe this time of year reminds you of something that is not positive, right? Like, or I mean, there's plenty of other different emotions, but it tends to be an emotionally filled time of year. So that being said, again, when you're in interactions with people, I really want you to think about pausing and almost making a mental note, right? Because it's very easy. Even, it's funny. Even something as simple as like, what are the plans, right? For maybe it's a particular get together this time of year, maybe it's for the new year or whatever it is. Like certain things can just get really stressful when we hurry up and respond to people, right? Like take a step back. Maybe it's your coworker. For those of you who have maybe difficult coworkers that you need to pause before you respond to said person, before you respond to the text, before you respond to the email, before you respond to the phone call, right? Like just take a pause for you. And that's something that, again, it's something to be intentional about, but that's one of the ways that you can establish a micro boundary for you to know that. I've heard it on social media before, this thing called urgency culture, which means that sometimes we just expect, which is insane when you really think about it. We just expect, like, we expect people to respond to us like within an instant because we're so overly connected to people sometimes. But don't feel like you have to like be a part of that urgency culture, if that makes sense, if it's not protecting your mental health, if it's not protecting your energy. So that's some of the things to think about. And one of the ways, again, to protect your energy is to think about, let me take this pause, right? And then respond. So that's the first tip of the day. And for those of you just joining, let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. I'm going to try, I said I was going to try it one more time, but I'm going to try again. To 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 connect again with Facebook because I cannot believe that I can't that it's just yeah, it's just not wanting to connect with Facebook today for some reason. But nonetheless, again, LinkedIn, YouTube, welcome, welcome, and Facebook if it ever ends up connecting to Facebook. But that was tip number one to think about. Again, today we're talking about if you're just tuning in, protecting your energy. Oh, yay! I think it's actually connected now. That is amazing. So, hi Facebook. We've been here for about 10 minutes, but I could not, for some reason, I could not connect on Facebook. It just was kept giving me an error message, but it looks like you guys are here now. So hi again for Facebook. We're 10 minutes in now, but it's all good. Again, if you ever miss any mental health moment, you can always go to Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page and you can always watch the replays on there. And it has the titles obviously. So whatever it is that you, I don't know, just need some tips with at this point in your life, you can always go on there. Hi from Seattle. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. So for Facebook, that just now got connected. Let me know where you're tuning in the chat as well. And apologies if you're like, why are we 10 minutes in and just now connecting with Facebook? It's because there was some type of technical glitch that I hadn't seen before. And it just, I don't know, it just wouldn't let me connect for a while, but glad to have you all in here. Okay, so tip number 2 today. So today, again, we're talking about how do you establish some type of micro boundaries, right? How do you work on protecting your energy? And I do share this as some holiday tips for those of you who are celebrating different holidays and we're getting towards the end of the year. However, no matter if you celebrate holidays or not, it is really important for you to be in the mindset of protect your energy, protect your mental health, work on preventing burnout. That's something I talk about at length with a lot of different corporations and organizations, like how we prevent burnout, right? Because it is possible, right? It really is possible, but we have to know what the signs are, of course, and we also have to put the things into place. Okay, so the second tip for you today is thinking about sometimes we have to work on limiting the explanation of our own boundaries, right? What I mean by that is we all have our limits, right? We all have our bandwidth. If you've been tuning in at all to Mental Health Moment, you know I also talk a lot about us checking in with ourselves, meaning asking yourself, how am I doing? Right? Like checking in with you because it's very easy to check in with everyone else. And when you do that and you really do know how you're doing, maybe you're at a point where you're energized, you feel great, wonderful. Maybe you're at a point in your life where you're like, nope, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed out, I'm burnt out, or wherever you're at, right? But it's hard to make decisions if you don't know where you're at mentally and emotionally, right? So that's why the check-ins are important. So when you do that check-in with yourself, when someone asks you to do things, whether it be at work, whether it be in the home setting, whether it be a friend, whether it be in the community or your family member, whomever, when people are asking things of you, you have to check in with yourself, right? To say, you know what? Yes, I can do this situation, or I can take this opportunity, or I can help this person. Or you might be saying, you know what? I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. I don't have the physical ability right now, or I don't have because you're so um, tired or burnt out, or you don't have the mental or emotional capacity, right? And you don't have to give this long explanation of all that's going on with you, right, to the person in front of you. But you can know what the answer is for you and simply say to someone, you know, like at this season, it's a busy season. I'm not able to right now, whatever it is, right? So again, it's setting the boundaries. Um, I personally have said many times, actually, to a lot of different people, I don't have the bandwidth for said situations. And then other times it's a yes. And other times I'm saying yes a lot. Like it just really depends. But again, when you have top of mind for you, your mental health, your energy, what your micro boundaries are, the bigger boundaries too. But today we're talking about micro boundaries. It's easier to have those conversations with others, right? And hi, thanks for those who are joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. And again, to my Facebook people, I apologize that I just could not I don't know. I just cannot connect for the first like 10 minutes of today's live, but it's all good. So you only missed like one tip out of the three today. So again, hey, Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Hammond here. Okay, so we're going to get into the last tip of the day. And this is one of my favorite tips, actually. So again, we're talking about how do you establish these sort of like micro boundaries, right? So there's huge things, major boundaries we set in our lives, but just the little things to be thinking about. Hi from ATL, welcome, welcome. Um, so one of the things that's pretty cool, and I feel like we might have touched on this a little bit on mental health moment before, but another thing to think about for those of you taking notes, this is the time to jot this down. Think about creating one non-negotiable in your day for you. And what I mean by that is maybe you say, because our days are all different, right? Like you may wake up, like I said, just full of energy, full of excitement. It's a great day, wonderful. Or you may wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, or today I have too much, or something happened in your life. Like it just really depends on what season we're in. But in a day, you can have a non-negotiable, meaning you say, you know what, no matter what is going on today, I am going to do this said thing to take care of myself. And again, we're talking about micro boundaries. So it could be something simple. Maybe you said, I'm in a rough season right now, but my non-negotiable today is to take a short walk, 5-10 minutes. Maybe that's your non-negotiable. Or your non-negotiable could be, maybe you're like, I just need to take a cup of tea. Since we're talking about cups of tea here today, right? But maybe it's sitting down and just having that cup of tea. Maybe it's allowing yourself to just take some deep breaths, right? Because it's so cleansing and so good for you, as an aside, and free and easy to do, right? But maybe like there's something that you can do that is just the non-negotiable for you in each day. Hi from South Carolina. Welcome, welcome. WDC's in the house. Welcome. Oh, Washington, D.C. Okay, you know what? Sorry. I was reading and I was like, Washington, D.C. Welcome, welcome. I thought it was some other acronym. I was like, where's that at? Okay. Maybe because I'm not from the DC area, I did not know. I don't think I've ever seen like WDC. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Well, welcome. But anyhow, but yeah, when you think about your non-negotiable for the day, again, just think of something small. I was trying to think I know what I did today. That actually I was going to post it. I probably will post it after this on my Instagram stories. Because I love to remind you all that just taking the small, tiniest pieces of joy. If you have the mindset, okay, this is a hard thing to do. I don't know if it's hard. It's challenging to do sometimes. But if you have the mindset that no matter how your day is going, you are going to find like the smallest ounce of joy, it really just changes your perspective of life. But it's not always easy to do. And I get that. Especially, it's so easy. Like if you're having a good day and life is great, right? You see everything, you're like, oh, this is great. Like, right? Like you're happy and joyous and you see the world differently. But if you're in a dark season, sometimes it's really hard. And I get it. It's really hard to find the small moments of joy. So like today, I'm in Orlando today, on a work trip, and anyways, I ran to the mall to grab something. And what was crazy was there was this Christmas tree, y'all. It was, well, I'm only like 5 foot nothing. I'm just a little over 5 feet. So it felt like the Christmas tree. I don't know. It felt like it was like 50 feet tall. It was probably wasn't 50 feet, but it was massive, right? And I don't know what it is, but I love Christmas trees. So I'll put on my story later on for those of you who follow me on Instagram. But it was, I just took a moment. Like I was like, you know what? In this day, that's my, again, it's so simple, right? But it's something that I love. I love Christmas trees and the lights and all that. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. So I went and just took a quick video and just had a moment. Like it was like 30 seconds, right? But I was like, you know what? Let me feel this moment of joy. Like, let me just find this little moment of joy. Like sometimes you all, and I've shared this before, mental health moment, but life gets crazy and hectic and busy, right? And some of you know, I don't know, I'm always in some city or another. Like I can't even keep track of that. Anyhow, I travel a lot for different work projects. And so I'm on planes a lot also, and just looking out the window and just for me, I love my mountains. We don't have mountains in Florida. I love sunrise, I love sunset, like all the things. Like sometimes the clouds are in like different formations. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Like just little things. And it doesn't have to be this for you. I'm not saying this thing is that. You might be like, who cares about the clouds? Right? Who cares about the sunsets? Right? Like that's not your thing. It's all good. It's not that, but it's getting into a mindset, you all, of having a non-negotiable each day to say, you know what, let me find my piece of joy. That's your boundary. And again, your piece of joy might be gardening. Your piece of joy might be taking the walk. It might be, again, taking deep breaths. It might be drinking, a cup of tea. Like whatever that is, make sure that you're making that full commitment to you, for you, right, for your mental health, and to protect your energy, especially at this time of year. It's or not just this time of year. I shouldn't just say that. We were talking about the holidays, but especially in the hectic, more quote unquote darker seasons of your life, if you could just just find the quick moments of joy, and allow yourself to feel that, even in the midst of the darkness. Sometimes, like that I think is, I'm not saying that cures anything, but it just gives your brain a break from the hardships and the difficult times and all the things that life gives us, right? So I encourage you to think about that. Um, excuse me, I don't know why this cough won't go away. Okay, Tennessee's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment today. Mm, and if you're just tuning in, we're actually wrapping up, but we've been talking about how do you really think about, again, heading into this season of hecticness, chaos, whether you celebrate holidays or not, it's just a busier time, and making sure that you incorporate your own boundaries for your life. And also, though, shifting into a mindset of understanding that small changes in your life can really make bigger differences too over time. That's a real thing, because we tend to think of everything like big, huge, massive change you have to make. I mean, those are good too, but sometimes it's just the smallest things, like saying no to something extra. Like maybe you're in that season of no, maybe you're in a season of yes, like, but checking in with yourself, right? Um, so remember to think about those things again, incorporate your non-negotiables. Just find one in the day. And sometimes I will say before I wrap up, um sometimes things just kind of pop up. Like today, like I was giving you the example when I was at the mall, and I didn't expect to see a like 50-foot, Christmas tree. I'm like, oh, this is gorgeous, right? Like, and I could have. So remember this when you're in that situation, because it's very easy, you all. We're busy, we're juggling, everything's hectic. It's easy for us to sometimes, like, how do I say, almost like neglect our joy, if that makes sense. Because I could have easily been like, oh well, like Christmas tree, like move on, right? Or I can make the decision to say, you know what? I really love Christmas trees though. Let me just go over here for a second. Let me just take a minute. Let me just go over here to this Christmas tree. Let me, record this and let me share it, which I will do after this, right on Instagram, just to spread like little tiny moments of joy and just to have that, because you're allowed to have that. For some of you, I will say, I know I said I'm wrapping up, but I really am wrapping up. And I'm gonna leave you with this, and also understand, for some of you, for a lot of reasons, creating boundaries for yourself might be affected by some issues with self-love, or issues with you feeling worthy, fill in the blank, like all sorts of different things. So I want you to also understand, I'm going to remind you today, and work on it. If that's your thing to work on, it's all good, that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve to have joy in your life. You deserve to have micro boundaries in your life. You deserve to protect your energy. You deserve to protect your mental health. Like you deserve these things. So if you have to keep, what I call mindset training, right? Like keep reminding yourself, telling yourself, doing affirmations, like repeating these things to yourself, um, to really get in that mindset and understand, like you really deserve this. Like you're allowed to have joy, no matter what. Like you're allowed to have joy. If you have the worst day of your life, you're still allowed to have an ounce of joy. And if you're having the best day of your life, well, then obviously you're already in joy, right? But you are like you are allowed to have joy. You're allowed to have that. So I want to share that with you before I wrap up today's mental health moment. New Orleans is in the house. Welcome. Okay, so hi. Um, so I'm gonna wrap up today's mental health moment. I really am. But I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, you guys.